Alright, we're in the heat again. Hopefully we're going to get through all the OVAs in this episode and move into the movies, because we've really gotten off into the weeds on these OVAs. We've gotten into some fucking out there shit. We got Geki Gengar 3, the movie. This is like a tie-in to Martian Successor Nadesco. It's the show within the show from that show, made into its own movie. I don't even remember watching this. Like, all I remember of it is the OP, and I only remember that because of the Eurobeat remix of it that's in Fingers Around My Dick, my favorite YouTube video of all time. So, yeah, I have no idea. I literally have no idea. Is this porn? Sora no Iro, Mizu no Iro, Color Sky. It looks like porn. Yeah, this is porn. I don't even remember liking this. I don't know why I watched 2 whole episodes of it. I don't even think I liked the character designs or anything. Front Innocent, this is another porn with really incredible artwork and animation, and Yuri scenes in it. The character designs are a little weird for my taste. I think this guy was like a pretty famous, yeah, holy shit, this dude he did like literally everything for this porn. Did he just like make it himself? Did he animate it? There's a guy who directed Plastic Little, which also has incredible fucking animation and erotic scenes. If you're a 4chan or if you're on A, you've probably seen the gif of like the 2 girls like getting naked from that show 1,000 times because it gets posted everywhere. Okay, this is actually a really interesting porn, Kage or Shadow. This is a narrative driven one about some kunoichi women, some ninja girls who basically use sex as a way to get to their clients, or not clients, but their targets rather, who they like poison and kill, and it's pretty fucking cool. I also think they were immortals or something. There was yeah, it's got a plot. It's pretty good. I'd give that one like a strong 6 to a light 7. Robot Carnival. This was another compilation film from who even? Studio APPP. Well, interesting. Yeah, it was led by like Katsuhiro Otomo, the director of Akira, who directed the opening segment and closing segment. But it's, as you can see here, a bunch of different art house directors team up to make a bunch of short films centered around robots. And this one is definitely like, this is the anime Fantasia. Like, it really feels a lot like Disney's Fantasia, and is about as consistent as Fantasia, which, depending on who you are, either means it's a masterpiece, or if you're like me, you think a couple of segments are kind of cool, but most of it you're like, whatever. As you can see, I've completed 9 out of 1 episode, because it was originally listed as 9 episodes, and now it's listed as 1. It's the reverse of what happened with the other fucking compilation shorts. But, I actually think I never got to see this entire thing, because whatever shitty-ass stream I was watching it on in fucking 2007 cut out on me, like, towards the end, and I never got to see the rest. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Genmu Senki Leda. This is what I would call one of the most, like, overrated OVAs of all time, because this is really known for its gorgeous animation. It's known for having, like, lots of background animation and being this, like, this, you know, high budget, well, high effort at least, 80s OVA from the OVA boom, if you will. But, like, the plot is completely fucking boring. Like, it's a really generic fantasy story. I remember just, like, hating it completely. Now, granted, it's been a long time since I watched this, so maybe it's not as bad as I remember, but I definitely remember being super bored with it, and, like, the only good thing about it was the animation, which it's continually celebrated for over the years, but, like, I didn't get it. But hey, I was young. Ryoku no Hara Meikyu, or, Ryoku no Hara Labyrinth. This is a BL OVA. I think I watched this because, like, there was someone had made one of those, what are those things called, where, like, it's like a randomizer with a bunch of phrases in it, and it'll be like, Digibro is this or something, and it was like what the anime that is your life is, and it would be like a combination of 2 phrases, and I clicked one, and this was one of the 2 phrases, so I wanted to know what it was, so I watched it. Yeah, there you go. I remember it not being good, so it's probably like a 4. Sonic the Hedgehog, the classic fucking OVA. I remember this being awesome. I haven't seen it in a good 15 years, but we had this on VHS, and me and my brothers would like watch it. I've probably seen it like 4 or 5 times, and I remember it being really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's either a 6 or a 7 because I mean I imagine that if it was if it was great, then it would have a higher score because it's a fucking Sonic OVA, so people would be ecstatic to have one that's great. I mostly remember that Sonic was a cool guy in it, and it had Metal Sonic. That was neat. Giant Robo. This is a show I've tried to talk up, but I'm not good at it because I haven't seen the show in 10 years, but it's really fucking fantastic. One of the most amazingly directed series out there, particularly the first episode, which is incredible. It's a huge operatic mecha story with all these big emotions, and I don't want to try to describe it too much because last time I tried on DVD Tuesdays, I sounded like a fucking moron because I realized as I was talking about it that it had been so long since I seen it that I couldn't describe the plot. But I am long overdue for a rewatch of Giant Robo. I think I'd probably give it like an 8, if not a 9. I remember when I saw it before, I definitely felt like certain parts I loved a lot more than others. Like my favorite episodes were like the first and last, and the midsection I was kind of iffy about. And there's some stuff in there that's like a lot of people who love this have also read like other manga from the creator of this one, which it pays like lots of reference to. But it's overall very solid. I feel like I might enjoy it even more now than I did back then, which is why I'm tempted to say I'd give it an 8 or a 9. Assembl Insert. This is another older OVA that I've seen get some praise, but I don't really get it. It's a 2-episode thing from the late 80s that was just like about I remember that this girl was like an idol, but I guess she fights robots. I don't even remember that. I have this on DVD, and I remember watching it because it was another one that was covered in Anime News Network's Buried Treasure segment, but I watched it and was just like, I don't get it. So, I don't know, 5, 4, 3, I have no idea. 1919, this is kind of cool. This is from 1990. It's a very straightforward romance series about basically a couple 19-year-olds hooking up, but it's like a music video. Like, this is like in like some kind of weird... Like this definitely is like an MTV inspired video. Like it's like if the Take on Me music video like got expanded into a 45-minute film. Like it's just a bunch of like cool song visual segments that have like neat style, like it's pretty dope. I'd give it like a 6 or a 7 probably. I think it's definitely worth seeking out just cuz it's fucking interesting. Gibo Mai. This is this one. I remember this one having a lot of rope play. I believe it was like this brother was like just tormenting his sister. It was like she likes him, but pretty sexy picture there. It's probably not that good. I don't remember being a huge fan. Ane Jiru. I can tell I don't even like this. I can tell by the title I don't like this. This looks bad. Why did I watch 2 whole episodes of it? I don't know. I used to like finish the porn I watched. I don't really do that anymore. Now I just like watch the sex scenes and then I don't. Like that's why not much of it gets added to my anime list, cuz like I rarely complete it, and like if I add any porn to my Mal, someone's going to message me about it cuz I have 4,000 friends on Mal, and like a lot of them just like legit watch what I'm watching. So yeah, I try to, be discreet. This one is a goofy comedy porn. I remember this being the first porn anime I saw in HD. This was the first like 720p download I ever had of a porn OVA back in 2007. I think that's the case. It was at least in widescreen. I remember that much because it was different. Ibler Jikan, I remember hating this. This was a Ghibli it's like literally 30 minutes of just art pans. Like it's 30 minutes of um a camera panning across a beautiful piece of artwork. And all I could think was I'd rather read an art book, like, so I can first of all blast through, because I'm not the type to like study a picture all day, like just sit there and stare at it and drink in all the details. I'm more the type to look at it and go like, whoa, that looks cool, and then like flip the page, oh, that looks cool. This is just like these ultra slow pans across these backgrounds that I'm just like, yeah, all right, it's a pretty background, like, oh boy, this is happening. I guess it's just this guy. It's just his art, and it's good. So yeah, it sucked. I give it like a 1. This is which one is this? This is Night Shift Nurses. Nurse Me. This is the Shinbo nurse porn. And this is also a Shinbo porn. Swallowtail Inn. I'm not really a fan of either one of them, other than this one has really great animation, but neither one is really my style. Oh, Angel Core. This is a lolly one. This is like a weird fucking bizarre Russian thing where like it's like about like a Russian cult during like World War II or something, and like it's fucking weird, man. It's got one of those like weird plots. But this one I remember being more cute. It's My Wife's a Magical Girl, and also it's, you know, it's got fucking in it. I'm not really gonna score all these. Like, they're all porn out of 10. This is another Shinbo one. This is the best Shinbo one. The artwork and animation is really fucking strong. It's pretty entertaining. I actually will talk about this one. Harumi's bad play. So, there's two OVAs from this same like team. Might even have been more, but like there's two that I remember. Both of them are basically like a little girl getting like just getting fucked in like a really brutal way. Like the guy's just like doing all this fucked up shit, but then there'll be like a crazy ass twist ending that reverses it all. I think that's what happens with that one. I know what happens with the other one, the Fairy Forest Remy or whatever, but like, yeah, they're both pretty funny, but like they're shittily animated. Like they look like garbage, but they have really funny twists, if I remember correctly. This one looks good. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Anime Tensho. This is a cool short from Studio Gainax way the fuck back in the 90s. It's only 2 minutes long, and it was made as an advertisement for Animate, a big anime store in Japan. You've probably seen this guy if you've watched Lucky Star, because he was just kind of like a slogan character or whatever. Like he was just a guy who symbolizes Animate, and Gainax did this thing about him with Anno directing it, because the character designer was the main character of Blue Blazes. So he was like, I guess, friends with Gainax. You know, they did the OVA of his manga Blazing Transfer Student in the early 90s as well. So yeah, this thing just exists, and then later on he just becomes a character in Lucky Star. It is way more fleshed out in that show than he ever was. Koharu Biyori. This is like a really shitty fan service OVA. Like, it's one of those that has a bunch of tits and fan service, but no sex, so you're just left wondering, why not just watch porn? Like, what is the point of this? What is the point of going halfway there? You know? It's not good. It's like a 3, probably. Blame Prologue. This was like a couple of attempts at like showcasing what Blame would look like in anime form, which have come to fruition now thanks to Polygon Pictures. But I don't remember them being any good. I don't know. This is more fucking porn. I don't even know what that one is. Detroit Metal City, finally, something good and worth talking about. Detroit Metal City is a fucking fantastic comedy series about a guy who just wants to be a Swedish pop star, but he has this demon inside of him called Krauser II that is a metal god. And so he performs in this amazing metal band, who is received by their fans much in the way that, like, Death Clock is from Metalocalypse, except that Detroit Metal City is a much more grounded in reality series, but it's fucking hilarious. I mean, like, almost all Japanese comedy is hit and miss, but when it hits really fucking hard. And as a lifelong metalhead, I really appreciate any metal jokes in anything. The music also is fucking badass. Like, there's a companion album to this show that is every bit as solid as the Metalocalypse Death albums. It's pretty fucking cool. Kaito Tenchi Twin Angel. This is actually a pretty decent magical girl OVA from director, what the fuck is his name? Tatsuyuki Nagai, the same guy who directed Toradora, Iron-Blooded Orphans recently, Anohana. And I remember this was the first OVA where I really took note of the fact that he could do action, because his action scenes just had really interesting use of space, I thought, anyways, at the time. I don't know how fucking true that is, because I watched this in 2008, and what the fuck did I know back then? But, yeah, it's just about a couple of magical girls. It's a pretty simple and straightforward story. I remember enjoying it, more or less. It's probably like a strong 5, light 6 kind of thing, but then they later made an anime out of it, and I didn't like the anime at all. Is my audio level... Notice that my audio level was ultra low, so I just turned it, like, way the fuck up. So I'm probably gonna have to do something about that in editing. Anyway. What is this? Tome Ningen? Does that mean invisible person? Yeah. The Invisible Stud. What a great name. I don't remember anything about it. This looks like more porn. I don't remember this one at all, but this one, Alignment UU, was one of my favorites because it has really weird character designs where the characters all have crazy eyes. And it's about this girl who's a ghost at this high school, and she basically just, like, possesses people to make them fuck each other and stuff, and it's pretty cool. I like it. I like it mostly for the character designs. Oh man, Batman Gotham Knight. So this was where the anthology tie-in movies really started going downhill for me, because there had been the Animatrix, and I think Halo Legends might have been out around the same time, but this one was just shitty. Like, I don't remember any of them being good. It's 6 shorts, and I remember them all being shit. And of course the B-Train one is by far the worst. I think they might have even done 2 in this one. I think this had 2 B-Train episodes that are just awful. But even the ones that were, like, well animated were just, like, not interesting at all. So it was like, okay, well, that was fucking... These are no longer something to get excited about, you know? Oval X Over. I think this was, like... If I remember correctly, this is, like, an Inferno Cop tier animation of, like, just a bunch of cars, like, going around in circles and weird humor. Yeah, it's directed by Imaishi. So I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I have no comment. Here's more porn. I remember that one being, like, relatively okay. More porn. I don't even remember this one. I don't even know. Lucky Star, the OVA. This is a really fucking solid OVA for a really fucking solid show. Lucky Star is one of my favorite anime. What's great about this OVA is that it's 42 minutes long, so they really got, like, the chance to do more. Like, most of the OVAs for shows like this are just, like, dicking around. Like, usually it's like a relatively, like, it's lower budget than a normal episode, and it's usually, like, a little bit of fan service, mostly just characters sitting around doing nothing, and, like, maybe there's a little bit of, like, I recently watched the Manabi Straight OVA, and I was just like, why? Like, why did this have to exist? What did this add to Manabi Straight? Lucky Star's OVA is really cool because there's like a whole segment where it's this weird dream sequence where Kagami is dressed as Hatsune Miku, and they go to like a something, I don't remember exactly, but it was really fun. And then it also has like a really extended live action Lucky Channel segment where it's like the two actors in person, and it's like 5 minutes of them. It's fun, man. It's a good fucking... It's much better than most OVAs of its ilk. I actually own this on DVD. It's the only part of Lucky Star I own on DVD. It's a good Shoujo Sect. This is the other Yuri, the other all Yuri OVA that's out there. I remember this being pretty alright, though it's like the manga was a lot longer and better, but like the manga at the time that I watched this, the manga had not been fully translated. It was like 6 or 7 random chapters, so I never knew what the fuck was going on or what the plot was until I watched the OVA, and it made more sense. But then it also was missing a lot of like the stuff I had liked. So I don't know. It's it's good as far as Yuri goes. If you want an all Yuri OVA, it's great for that, and it's got like a plot, so that's nice. Choi Suji, this is just like some lolly shit. But episode 2 has a guy fucking 2 lollies at the same time. It's pretty cool, dude. Like, seriously, like... I remember this one. This one's actually really fun. It's about a Trivial Pursuit game, but it makes you fuck. And it's, it's good. Here's Fairy Forest Remy-chan. Yeah, this is the one, the other one I was referring to, where it's just like this brutal, fucked up, like, guy just, like, raping the shit out of this little girl until it turns out that she's, like, a demon or something and, like, eats him. I don't know. It's awesome. Lolita Anime, literally the first porn ever. The first anime porn ever made, February 1984, because they made it legal. So the first thing they did was go, oh, we can make hentai now? Lollies. I think I submitted this to Mal. I think I wrote this synopsis. Yeah. I think I literally submitted it to my anime list. Hatsu Inu to the animation. Hatsu Inu is one of the most famous porn OVA series about this girl who doesn't talk and she's like addicted to her dildo. It's kind of cute and fun. Denpa-teki Nakanojo. This is a really interesting 2-episode OVA that was about like, it's like super edgy and like psychological and dark, and it's pretty fun, but they only made 2 episodes and like it doesn't really go anywhere. Like I think it was one that was meant to continue and it never did, and it's based on like a longer running light novel series that I believe was from the same writer as Kurenai or something like that. Oh, Mamoru Kanbei directed it, the guy who directed Elfen Lied. Why am I not surprised that they would get him to direct an edgelord series like this? Anyways, it's alright. Cafe Junkies porn. Oh, man. Oh, I don't get to talk about this because I scored it. You should all watch the Chocolate Panic Picture Show, though. Onichichi is like the most famous fucking porn of the last 10 years. They've made like 80 fucking series of it. Kansen and Yoku no Rensa's porn. It's alright. Blackrock Shooter, the OVA. I really liked this when it came out. I was a huge fan of the Blackrock Shooter character design. I had been a huge fan of Hatsune Miku at the time in like 2009. Like I loved her music and I loved Blackrock Shooter, and I have a huge ass figure of it that you've probably seen in some of my videos. So I was really excited when this came out, and the main character is voiced by Kana Hanazawa, who I was a big fan of, and like it's generally just like a cute girl's friendship bonding kind of story that also has this weird like other world where people are fighting, and the animation's fucking awesome. But and this was like the first Studio Ordet like production that they did by themselves when Yamakan made his own studio, like finally fully did one without A1 Pictures help. Anyway, it was like an interesting thing at the time. I don't know how well it holds up. I'd probably give it like a 6 or a 7. I don't really know. I'd have to watch it again. 30th Gundam Perfect Mission. I think this was one This is only 2 minutes long. I don't even remember. It's just like some random Gundam shit. I really don't. Kanojo's porn, which someone gracefully sent me the Blu-ray of in the mail one time. Boku Otariman. I remember this being fucking dumb. It's about a guy who's a salaryman and also he's an otaku, and that's the entire joke, and it got really old. Sono Hanabira ni Kuchizuke o, the other Yuri OVA. Also, this one's really nice. The animation's gorgeous. Character designs by Sakai Kyuta, who's one of my favorite character designers. It's fucking great. I highly recommend it if you like Yuri. Fukubiki Triangle Miharu After. It's another porn. This is one that I have for like one scene that I really like. Nichijou episode 0. I don't even remember this. I remember that it happened, but I don't remember what happens in it. Koe de Oshigoto. This is the most fun, like, pseudo-porn OVA, where it's about this girl who decides to become a porn voice actress. So, basically, in order to do so, she has to, like, make herself actually come during the recordings. And it's, like, really well done. Like, really well directed and produced, and it's treated like a normal show. Like, not like a porn. And, it's got some really sexy scenes in it, man. It's good shit. Princess Lover OVA. I don't even remember liking this, but you know, it's porn, obviously. Tamayura. This was a fucking slow Iyashikei thing that eventually became a TV show. I had kind of struggled to make it through the OVA. Like, I thought it was okay. You know, it's got cute girls, so I watched it, but like, I was always like on the verge of not continuing. So I'd probably give it like a 5 or a 6, but like, I watched the first episode of the TV show and it's just like, alright, I've had enough. Onichichi 2. I mean, it's more Onichichi. What can I tell you? Oh, man. Dot Hack Quantum. I've talked about this a few times before. Really solid, fun, action OVA about, like, a video game. You know, it's the only Dot Hack that actually is fun to watch. Now, I remember that the first episode is really fantastic, and then once the plot actually starts moving in episodes 2 and 3, it's a little bit more but, you know, the artwork and animation is beautiful. This was Kinema Citrus, who I believe is doing Made in Abyss now, right? Are they the ones? Yeah. And it's along the same lines. Like, I would say if you like the action and the, like, general art style and feel of, like, the early episodes of Made in Abyss, Dot Hack Quantum feels pretty similar. Yuri Seijin... Oh, that's got a score. Asobi ni Ikuyo OVA. I don't even remember this. I'm sure it was really fan service heavy, but like, I don't remember. Floating Material. This looks like porn. I don't even remember this one. Actually, I think this was recent. No, 2011? Okay, I don't remember. Another Onichichi. Apparently I've watched a bunch of them. This one, I don't know. I like the design. I don't fucking know. Anemone. What is this? What the fuck is this thing? 5 minutes? Is this not just a song? This just looks like a music video or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. There's so much fucking porn. Boku wa Tomodachi ga Sugunai episode 0. It's episode 0 of that show. Swing Out Sisters is porn. Star Jewel is porn that is really beautiful. It's about a bunch of angel dick girls like fucking each other for justice. From the creator of Bible Black, and as well animated as Bible Black. Oh, thank God, a bunch of scores. Okay, we did all the fucking OVAs. Jesus fucking Christ. Now I can get into movies. Yay. Cowboy Bebop, Knocking on Heaven's Door. I don't like this movie very much. I think that it's one of the weaker parts of Cowboy Bebop because it kind of feels like an episode of the show just stretched out to be way too long. Like, I don't think the plot is interesting enough to last the whole movie. I remember there being segments where there's just like aerial dogfights for like 10 minutes and I just kind of like stopped paying attention. I love the final battle. The action in this film is unbelievably gorgeous. Like, it's one of the most beautifully animated films out there. I just remember not being that invested in the plot, but I haven't seen it since 2009, so, I'll rewatch it, but I would probably give it like a 6 or a 7 at most, if that, but maybe it's better than I remember. I don't know. Neon Genesis Evangelion Death and Rebirth. This is the one that starts with a fucking weird recap of the TV show, which I think establishes, I have it in my head that Shinji playing the cello is a major part of his character, but I think it might only be in the Death film. Like, it's some of the added footage is like this whole aspect of his character that he plays the cello that was never brought up in the TV show. And then Rebirth is just the first half of End of Eva. So, I don't know. I remember watching it and just being like, all right, well, that exists. I guess I'll watch End of Eva now. Which End of Evangelion is a fucking masterpiece. It was like my favorite anime for a long time. Even after... The funny thing about Eva is that, like, I've talked it before in, like, old-ass anime cast, that I watched the show for the first time in 2006, and I didn't do a complete rewatch of it until the end of 2015. But the movie I've seen, like, a bunch of times. Like, I've seen it, like, probably 4 times, because it's just so fucking badass that I would just throw it on to fucking watch it. It has, like, the coolest action scenes of all time. It's fucking brutal and weird, and it's got the coolest imagery of anything I can fucking imagine. Like, just everything about the end of this movie is the coolest shit I have ever seen. And I've kind of watched it by proxy even more times because there's this AMV of Bohemian Rhapsody set to Evangelion that, like, pulls mostly from this film, and I've watched that AMV like hundreds of times, so I feel like I've seen a lot of this movie like even more. But oh god, I'm fucking dying. It's great. I still haven't rewatched it after my last Eva rewatch, which at this point I probably should just watch the show again and watch the movie, but like, yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's the coolest shit in the whole world. It's the goddamn best movie ever. I'd probably still give it either a 9 or a 10. I would be shocked if I gave it, like, I'd be shocked if it wasn't one of my favorite anime of all time still. So, yeah, that's it for this episode. I think we might be able to do everything else in the next episode. I really hope so. I really hope there's only one more. We're finally out of the porn ghetto, guys. We're out of the porn ghetto.